where we left off on, and I'm going to pull up the document, is the brief summary of the article. And one of the things that I think would help is to maybe include some statistics from the article. So uh, not a lot. I mean, it doesn't have to be overwhelming, but let me drop the link to the article in the chat here. And let me go ahead and share screen. Any thoughts from yesterday about kind of getting back into nature, like how you can be a little more less technology
Screen
driven?
times.
Yeah. I mean, do
Cause
you think about that at all, reducing your screen time?
yeah, I was like I'm not afraid to admit this. I like scrolling on TikTok, so I had to put a screen time on that for like an hour a day on the daily only to be on TikTok, and it actually has helped a lot.
So I have a uh, friend from church. He's 19, I think, or 20, and he helps me actually with my videos. He does some of my videos and my scheduling.
He edits.
Yeah, it saves me time to have him do it. He's really good at it, doesn't, and he needs some work, so it's great. But he told me exactly what you said. He's like, I had to delete TikTok because I was just scrolling. So it's a thing. It's a real thing out there. And you know, it's your generation that's more prone to it. My generation's more prone to like TV watching. You know, but I'm sure you are too. But that's more of what we do. That's binging Netflix and whatnot. So. All right, so here is the, oh, okay. So persuasive article, and maybe incorporate some statistics. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is go back through the article. We talked about this idea that it maybe wasn't written as persuasive, but it really is. Um,
Yeah.
like they're trying to make the case like, hey, more schools could do this. And so I think that might be a good thing to include in the summary. You don't even have to say that it is persuasive. You could just sort of say like that's the net result. Like when you read it, it's hard to not think, wow, maybe I should cut back on my screen time.
Yeah.
So go ahead and take a minute or two to look through that, and let's a couple of sentences together.
Yep. Like you want me to take a look into the article, right?
Yes, please.
All right. Okay, so I read the article again.
Oh, good. What do you think now? Tell me, give me some verbal feedback on what you know, anything different this time that stood out to you?
I think um I don't think it's a persuasive article if that's what you're asking. I think it's more like it's incorporating that maybe school should ban cell phone use
Yeah,
because
it's definitely not a persuasive article. It's a descriptive article, but
yeah.
one of the ways, and you probably already learned this, is there's logos, pathos, and ethos. You probably heard those before.
Mm-hmm.
And here it's like because the information is so compelling, it's like, well, why wouldn't you do it? Um, but I mean, that's not always good enough. Like some people, like you could tell people, like, hey, if you eat healthy, if you just have salads and protein, low carbs and low no processed sugar, like you're gonna feel so good. But do they do that?
Yeah.
No, they don't. They
Mhm.
we have Snickers and we fast food and like we know what to do,
Oh
but
yeah.
we just don't do it. So like it's kind of like to me it's not really it's descriptive, but the information like you want to say that the information is so compelling that like more schools should do this. And they're kind of attempting to say that in the article. Like if like the parents aren't objecting to it, like the parents I think the parents actually are begging for someone besides them to be the bad guy. Parents don't want to be the bad guy in this situation. They want to tell their kids like you can't have your phone. Um, do you get that from the article? Something
Yeah.
else? Okay. So we're just looking for a little bit more in there. Um, that's what I'm suggesting. Maybe talking about the parents, maybe talking about some statistics, but you need another 50 to 100 words. So we're looking for some filler here on that front.
Like what do you mean by filler exactly?
We 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 don't have enough words. We're summarizing the article, and we've got 69, we've got another 29, you've got 98 words. We need another 50 to 100 words here about what the article's about. I'm just giving you some ideas about what to write about.
Got it. Can I start off like the sensing this is a descriptive article?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, here's what I wrote right now. Um,
Okay. So what we don't want to do here is repeat some things that you've already said. We've already sort of said, hey, this is what the article is about. Um, the so we've already maybe you haven't said that. Um, we just want to be careful not to like repeat the same things here. So let me. Um, the article also mentions. Yeah, this actually might be pretty good. Okay, now could you add something about the statistic or two that you found important? Like if you were to only give like one, and that's where you can actually quote from the article like you did up here. Um, like that's okay. But could you give me one statistic or two that you found like really compelling that you would tell uh to someone?
yeah. Like, by the way, it does say statistics actually. Okay. There's a quote at the end of this article, excuse me, that says data from the National Center of Education Statistics shows 91% of schools ban non-academic use of phones during the 2009 to 2010 school year.
So you said 2009?
Yeah, I think this is very strange. I thought this,
I mean, geez, 10 years ago, 14
and
years
then
ago.
like I'm just gonna send you the quote and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about the year. I mean, like it was
Phones were
it's like
like
what?
still a new thing in the 2000s, so I don't so yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
I
mean, the
just sent the
iPhone
quote
wasn't
in the
released
chat.
until 2007-ish.
Yeah, I'm the same
Eight.
age as an iPhone.
There's a okay. So that like what you just said would have been really funny to put in a like an introductory thing to someone. Like
I'm the same age as
that's
an
really
iPhone.
funny. Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm like 16, so
Right. And that's all right. So here you go. This is great. This is exactly what we want. You met the word count, all that stuff. Are you happy with it?
very.
Okay. So now, um, what is your topic sentence for your summary? And so you can't just reuse this. You really should write a better topic sentence about um, but maybe it is this. I don't know. I just feel like maybe there's a better way to say like summarize all the things you're about to talk about in one sentence here.
Hmm.
I'm not sure. So give that a try, please.
Yeah. I'm right now thinking of what to write. Here's what I wrote for maybe a topic sentence, and maybe I could shorten it, but I just want you to check it out.
So I don't feel like when I read it, like, while this is in there, this isn't the main. It is that they should continue to ban the use of phones and um but I think it goes beyond that. I think it says that it's more like parents are in agreement with this and other schools should
As well.
follow as well. Yeah. Like I think of it as like macro, high level, big picture, not the details. They say in the weeds when you're talking about very much the details. Things. Okay. Let's move on to part three here. Um, so let's read these questions and see if you know the answers to any of them before we go and look them up. How is the word augment used in the context of this lesson? How is the word passage used in the context of this lesson? How is the word annotation used in the context of this lesson? What is a
I'm
topic sentence? What do you need to have an effective summary?
I don't know what augment means. I mean, like I've heard it before, but I don't remember what it means.
That's
So
fine. How about any of the others here? Do you feel like you could answer any of these others without going back and looking at the lesson?
I know that passage is like a part of a paragraph or something. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Okay. How about annotation?
It's on the tip of my tongue, but isn't annotation like in a way like maybe quoting or maybe I'm wrong.
That is correct.
Or like
Uh,
highlighting something?
how about a topic sentence?
Yeah, I know what a topic sentence is.
Okay. So when I look back at the lesson here, um, all of these words are there. It might help. Let me let me snip this in. Okay. So oops. Right, so the word augment is is down here, augment. Um, See if you can tell me what it means, or you can look it up on the internet as well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start writing the sentence. Okay, here's what I wrote for augment.
Okay. An augment is when you change, right? So, um, well, okay. So what the way I read it here, like just to be clear here, um, you the way they're using it here is that you might have like some idea of what the article is about in the beginning, but then augment means you might change it. Like if you ever been someone said, "Oh, this is you're gonna you won't like this place," and then you go there and you actually like it, or you think it's going to be one thing and it ends up being another.
Uh-huh.
That's what augment is referring to here. Like, I had this idea about dollar stores that they didn't have good stuff, and I went in there last 2 weekends to buy stuff for Christmas. Like they have little gnomes, they've got these like anorexic Santas. They're like really cute, like stuff for putting up around the house. And like actually it was high quality stuff. Like I mean, it's just going to go in a box after the holidays. So I had to augment my perception. And that's what I'm telling you here is that's what they're looking for. It's like you had this idea from the pre-reading and then you change it, you augment it later on.
Oh, maybe I was
So
overthinking it when I was writing this.
yeah, that's okay.
Do you think we can edit like the way I wrote my sentence and just fix it up, or should I just
Let me look at it one more time. Yeah, because you're not exactly saying what we're asking for here. And again, you can always use the words that in the question says it's you would say like augment is used in the context of this lesson. And so for the next ones, you could follow that. Um, you mean or indicate that you can change information uh, and I would say your perception after reading the article. And it would be good here to give an example. You might say that this is where I want you to add another sentence. Um, you would say like, well, I thought the article was going to be about iPhones in the forest, maybe, and that's not what it was about. But you could use that as like, you thought that they were banning phones because they were using them to look up answers or something. Like, but it's not actually about that. You could but you would give an example of how you augmented your thinking.
yeah, I'll give an example. And I'll
Yeah.
just use what you said as well with the iPhones in the forest thing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, depends how, cynical you want to be with that. But yeah, go for it. And
Okay, here's what I wrote.
okay, so how did you augment that? Like how did you um Like you're supposed to give an example of how you would augment that. But it's like iPhones in the forest. But and then you say, what was it actually about? And that's where you say, but it was actually about this.
Uh, so I have to say uh,
What was it
but
really about?
it was about schools banning the use of phones.
So could you add to that then?
Yeah. All right. And there we go. That's what I wrote.
Okay. All right, very good. So the next thing here is about the word passage. Okay. And you'll see that the word passage is down. Well, it was there when I snipped it. I must have not snipped it all. There it is. They find the passage difficult. Oh, sorry. Passage difficult. There it is. There's the passage. So, see if you can tell me what the word passage means in
With the passage they I'm confused. I'm also going to search it up as well. So I also searched up what a passage is. It says a passage is an excerpt from a written text, like it can be a sentence or a chapter. So what
yeah,
should
you can think of the article we read as a passage.
okay.
So that you would say the example is the article is the passage. Now, if you were reading an entire book, like when you were reading the Shining, a passage
Yeah.
would be a smaller subsection of the book.
Yeah, because sometimes in The Shining I'll have a this I'm serious by the way when I say this. I had a chapter that was only 1 page long.
Right. It doesn't, so that's up to the author. Um, I spoke with an author about a year ago, and you kind of do whatever you want. There are certain like formats, but you can do whatever you want in that world.
Okay, here's what I wrote for passage.
Very good. That may be everything. That may be perfect. Okay, so actually we need to add a little bit more here because it's saying like it's really kind of asking like to describe what you're supposed to do with the passage. You're obviously reading it, but like you're doing a few more things. So like what are the other things that you are doing with the passage?
I assume also looking for words and clues and context.
Well, like they talked about skimming, they talked about annotating, they talked about a few other things.
Hmm.
Yeah, looking for words you don't understand, things like that. Why don't you hold on to that thought and we'll just take a short break here. Finish this up
Okay.
next hour. So, all right, let's go ahead and stop there, and I'll see you in about 10 minutes.
See you in 10 minutes. Bye bye.